No matter how long you've been riding, you'll make some rookie mistakes, irrespective of your cycling experience. Knowing the most common cycling mistakes can help you avoid injuries and enjoy your rides more. In the beginning, new riders tend to make some cycling errors and must know how to avoid these problems. In this video, I'll share with you these cycling mistakes and give you tips to avoid these errors when cycling. So, let's go! Mistake number 1. Saddle height. The first common mistake that every cyclist makes is uncomfortable saddle height. You're more likely to experience aches and pains after getting off the saddle if your bike doesn't fit properly. While cycling, you'll also feel some general pain. This is never good because it will make you want to stop riding and spoil your fun. Make sure to set the saddle, bicycle seat, to the appropriate height. To accomplish this, you should position your bike upright and adjust the saddle roughly at the level of your hip bones. It shouldn't be slanted up or down but facing straight ahead. Make sure the handlebars are 1 to 2 millimeters lower after adjusting the saddle height. This is a nice height for your handlebars to start at if you're new to cycling, and as you become used to riding with them there, you can drop them even further. Mistake number 2. Not fueling properly. Cycling demands a lot of physical energy, so you'll crash if you don't properly fuel your body. Most cyclists have made the error of undereating before or during a ride, leading to the unpleasant event known as the bonk. The bonk is when you experience symptoms like fatigue, dizziness, anger, confusion, and nausea because your body has run out of fuel or energy. It becomes very challenging and may be unsafe to keep riding. Especially if you're riding in more distant locations where there's little possibility of finding a place to acquire supplies. Take a little more food and possibly 2 bottles before you set out on a ride. Always plan because it is preferable to avoid bonking with food and water on hand. Mistake number 3. Misusing the gears. Your rides are likely a lot more uncomfortable than they need to be if you aren't using or misusing the gears on your bike. Most bikes feature more than 20 gears, making riding over various terrains more comfortable and simple. Don't worry if you have trouble operating your gears correctly. More often than you may imagine. It's best to learn how to use them effectively. If you don't, your bike chains could get damaged. The optimal gearing for you may take some time to discover, but if you're riding on level terrain, keep your cadence between 70 and 90 pedal rotations per minute, RPM. Change down to the lower gears when facing difficult climbs. Conversely, when approaching a flat, downhill segment, increase your gearing. Mistake number 4. Braking in corners. New cyclists are especially prone to making this mistake. The most effective and safest strategy is to brake before the corner rather than during it, as doing so with your bike banked over at an angle will cause the bike to lock up, you to lose control, and you to crash. Braking before the bend, instead of braking while you are on the corner, is the safest and most effective strategy. Braking safely involves doing so when you get close to a turn. Be sure to brake gently yet hard enough to slow down until you can safely navigate the corner. Remember to brake early when wet because the stopping distance will be longer, especially if you have caliper brakes rather than disc brakes. Mistake number 5. Forgetting essential tools. Forgetting or not having essential tools is another common mistake every beginner cyclist makes. Make sure you bring a few necessary spares and tools that could get you home if you have an issue before setting out for a ride. If you don't pack a few extra tools or replacement components, you risk being unprepared for these situations and having a long walk home. You won't have to worry about storing tools while you ride because many are small enough to fit in your pockets or a saddlebag under your seat. In general, it's always a good idea to ride with tire patches, a mini pump, tire levers, a couple of inner tubes, and a small multi-tool kit. Mistake number 6. Poor bike maintenance. Last but not least, poor bike maintenance is another common mistake among cyclists. Develop the habit of frequently inspecting and maintaining your bike, especially if you don't want to be saved from the shame of being stranded on the side of the road. Pay close attention to the chain, brakes, gears, handlebars, and tires, and keep the chain clean and lubricated regularly. Regular servicing of your bike makes sense, especially if you have questions or concerns about a more complicated component. Avoiding taking a chance is the best advice. Did you find this video helpful and informative? Comment below the video, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel.